Hey everybody, welcome to Sam's Doing Stuff. What am I doing today? Just taking the next step, making this old barn a little bit better. Oh, it is brutally cold out there. And yeah, you might ask yourself, or ask me, why in the world would you be doing this in the dead of winter when it's the coldest day of the year? I don't know. Sometimes the best answer you could come up with is because I'm stupid. That's about it. But I want to get it done. And sometimes that's all it takes is motivation. Look at the snow. This wall is nowhere near airtight. Now, I showed a picture in the last video. I'll put it up again. This barn was dilapidated when we moved in here. And I built this wall and I put in the garage door and I've been fixing it up little by little, the whole goal is, what can I do to make it better? And I think this is pretty obvious. We can stop the wind from coming in through here and spewing snow. That might help. Now what's my end game here, right? I mean, you could tear the whole thing down and build a brand new barn. That would be $100 grand, I bet, to build a 40 by 40 barn like this. And there's still a lot that's good. The framing is still good. The structure is solid. You know, it just needs some TLC and a lot of TLC. So the first step, I think, is to get some kind of a vapor and water barrier where all those cracks are. Now, I could just use plastic, just sheet plastic, but that breaks down over time, and I'd be afraid that it would just get all ripped up and everything. So I think a better option is this foam core insulation. It is closed cell, so it's going to keep the water out. It'll definitely keep the wind out. It's got an R2 value. It's not super insulating, but really, just as a start, this is a pretty affordable option to seal up all the cracks. Just so you can see what I'm dealing with here, yeah, 16 degrees in here seems horrible, but outside, the wind chill, number one, is about 15 below, and the actual temperature is like 7. So it's pretty obvious what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna put these things up. I'm gonna measure where I need to measure to fit in between these girts and just stuff it into place. I believe the silver side is supposed to go in. I'm pretty sure. Because otherwise it would reflect out. It would reflect the heat out. That doesn't make any sense. So silver side in. So as you're trying to improve an old building, there's some questions you have to ask yourself every time. Number one question is it perfect? Well, obviously no. So what can we do to make it better? This. Did I make it better? Yes, it did. Was it worth it? It was cheap. It really didn't cost much at all. This stuff is inexpensive. So yes, that's a win. The next, well, is it perfect now? No, it's not. Can it be better? Yes. So what are we gonna do next? Well, we could just slap some siding on that. I could put siding in between those poles and just call it a day, but I don't think that's enough. I'm starting to get this feeling. I used to be like, well, it's a barn, you know, just, it's a barn. I'm not telling myself that anymore. I'm kind of more like, this thing could be really good. So I think I want to frame this out. I want to frame this out so that the T111 that I'm going to put on will allow space for spray foam. I think it's worth it. I think the spray foam might, over top of that, might be worth it. So I'm going to frame in between all of these poles so I have a nice flat surface all the way across and the T111 can cover it. Framing is next. Before I wrap it up for today, I want you to just take a moment and listen to the kind of wind that's out there. You know what? I'll do you one better. Yeah, it's worth it. Believe it or not, this is rather encouraging, 11 degrees in here, because actual temperature outside, -9 this morning. Yeah, very cold. That says a lot, and I think the result might be partially because of this. I mean, I don't know. We got a structure. It's keeping some of the cold out, that's for sure. So I'm running into this thing now, as I said earlier, I'm stopping saying, well, it's just a barn. And I'm starting to be like, well, how good can I make it? So when you're working with an existing structure, you got to look at what is already there and try and build to that. And that, lying awake at night, like I always do, thinking about stuff. So I was going to build this wall, T111, all the way up to where the ceiling's going to be, just frame it in and have the ceiling go into the T111. But then I'm looking over here at this wall. This board isn't attached, don't worry about that. Up there at the top, you got I think it's a 2x6 or 8, probably a 2x8, that goes all the way along the top of that wall, and the T111 is gonna die into that. So I think I should make it match over here. Just run that same 2x8 and come all the way along this wall with it, and then the T111 can die into it just the same as the rest of the structure and make it look, what's the word? Continuity. Yeah, I'll have continuity. You know, I'm watching Kyle from Spicer Designs. If you haven't heard about his channel, go check it out, Spicer Design. And he's doing a shop build, but he's got a much newer shop. But man, that guy's so meticulous, and it makes me feel guilty for not caring so much sometimes. Maybe I should care a little bit more and make this place nice. So we're gonna try. We'll do the best we can. Got to go get some boards. That's a nail. Oh, that's, look at that. Frying that bar. Oh yeah, that's nice. That was way more work than I had expected it to be. But the framing for this wall is done. And there's 1-inch foam core insulation behind it, which is making a big difference. I really, really want to put T111 on this right now, but I can't because spray foam insulation, if I want to do spray foam insulation, I need 60+ degrees. Now we got our 54-degree day today. Can you believe it? It got up to 54 degrees. Snow is melting and it's a beautiful day. Oh, it was just gorgeous. But I really can't put it, I might put it up and just screw it in place. Not today, but I might screw it in place just until I can wait until spring and we get a 60+ degree day. The surface has to be 60 degrees also to spray that. You know, I want it to be effective. I don't want to just waste it. Oh, so let me show you what else I got done. The warm weather has melted a lot of the snow off of what was left here. So I intend to start stacking this into totes. That's gonna get done. Plus I put the trailer load of wood out in the sunshine, and boy, did that make a difference. It melted pretty much all of the snow off the trailer. This stuff is pretty much bone dry, I'd say. And I can stack out of this, but I'm just gonna kind of save this for later. Probably the smartest thing I did was when Scott came over to work, I showed him how to run the excavator and I had him just go and get logs because the big thaw that we have going here is gonna create mud. It's going to be like pudding. So now I have a mess of logs over here that I can just grab, cut up on the concrete, and I can stay out of the mud and get ready to process some more firewood because it has been a minute. It has really been a while. I've been doing other things and I know it all has to be done, but I'd really like to make some firewood. So I've got a bunch of logs here. Got to do is cut, split, and stack. And I don't know. I think that might be what I'm doing next time when I'm doing more stuff. See you then.